We are QOTD, and you are watching the Question of the Day daily recap show. QOTD is the game show that lets you be on the air, and you can join us on the air by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions.
And you can also join us by voting for your favorite answers to determine who makes it to the weekly Big Show Championship. That's on Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
We're going to show you how to make it on the air with us for Thursday's Big Show. But first, we're going to take a look at one of our favorite fan answers to today's question, which puts you in the position of hosting a celebrity cooking show in your very own kitchen.
I love it. I love it. By the way, we send out those QOTDs every day, and if you want to be the first person to get the QOTD every day and thereby get a better chance of making it onto the recap shows and the Thursday Big Show, go ahead and subscribe. All you folks on YouTube, you know how to do that. If you're on Twitch, you can follow us. If you are on the Beyond the Air site, just go ahead and click register. But by subscribing, you can increase your odds of showing up right here.
Can increase your odds in every way. All right, well, let's get cooking, shall we?
Yes, drum
roll, please. Pick anyone alive or dead to cook with for 2 hours. Who is it? This is one of those questions where it's like, we have to learn a little bit more about you. Are you going with somebody, maybe like a family member that's passed on, or are you going to celebrity chef? I don't think there's any wrong answers, but I'm interested to see what people went with.
But like you're saying, I think it's a surprisingly revealing question. It has to do with relationships and sort of like how you spend your time when you can do anything that you want. I think it's a really, really interesting one. So be careful. Not that we're judging, but we are.
Just a little bit, yeah. Well, before we get into our own answers to this, I agree it's an amazing question. We can first get into some of our fan answers because we've been getting them from across the world. So what better time than now to look at one of our early favorites. Receiving the honor of Classic Cooking Companion, we have Chris's answer.
If I had to pick someone to cook with for 2 hours, I'd probably pick Gordon Ramsay, just because I think it'd be funny to have him kind of critique me while I'm cooking. And I think he would give me good feedback. I mean, it might be aggressive, but I think I'd enjoy the time with him.
I think you say that, but then you end up crying. That's what I think the way that this one goes down.
Critique is a very generous word. It's I was thinking more berate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until he calls you an idiot sandwich, and then it sort of goes downhill from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the way that I looked at this question was more like someone that you love, that maybe you haven't seen in a really long time, and you want to spend a really intimate, focused hour with them. Where's the best place to do it? And I think it's the kitchen. Just speaking for myself, at our house, the kitchen is where everything important happens. We have our meals, we have our discussions, we have our fights, we have we make up, everything always happens there. It's the only place. Every place else is we're sitting in front of the TV, or we're listening to music, or we're doing something in the yard, everybody's busy. But in the kitchen, it's something that you truly do with other people. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's always the most popular place to gather. Even if you are the host and it drives you crazy that all of your guests are in the kitchen, it's because it's so much nicer to, be peeling a carrot while having conversation. It kind of gives you something to do, so you're not just hyper focused on each other, and then all kinds of conversations just come out of it. It's the best place of the house, the heart of the home.
The heart of the home. I stole the words right out of my mouth, right out of my pantry. My word hoard.
Yeah. So I think, do people have any people they would definitely love to cook with? And also, I think a part of the question we couldn't quite fit in the show was, what are you making? Which is, I think, just as important as who are you making it with.
So I have an answer. It just came to me. So I obviously, like many people, I have put 2 sets of grandparents, and but my grandparents on my dad's side, they died when I was very young. I barely knew my grandmother, and she it was hard because she didn't speak English that well. They were immigrants, and but she had this one dish that she used to make that was really, really awesome. These they were sweet and sour meatballs, and I loved it. I really looked forward to it. The adults hated it, but the kids liked it. But I would like to spend an hour with my grandmother, who I don't really know, so I could spend the time like just the two of us, and I could like focus, so I could kind of get through her, her accent and all that stuff, and like get to know this person that I like didn't ever really get a chance to. And the meal itself is just an excuse. It's just something that she knew how to do, but that's what I'd like to do. Be in the kitchen with Grandma.
Mm-hmm. I have the same answer. My great grandmother, though, and she made this meatloaf, but it wasn't just like an average meatloaf. It had like sausage in it and all this great stuff. But it was my one big regret. I never got the recipe from her son, my great uncle, and he just passed away 2 years ago. So I was like, I would do anything, because when I was younger and she would make it, I was just disinterested. She's my great grandma. She was super old, but I would love to talk about the stock market crash, which directly affected my family, and talk about just all of the things that she went through in her life that we read about, but by golly, we all have people in our family that actually lived through these times. What did you cook during the Depression?
Yeah, listen up, you young people. Mm-hmm. Take advantage of the fact that you've got these, great grandparents and grandparents may still be around. Talk to them now.
Mm-hmm. Get the recipe now.
Yeah, I feel like it's always definitely when you're younger, it's like, it's like you don't really think about it. It's sort of like, I think, not to bring in The Office, but it's like that quote. It's like this quote from Andy where he's like, I wish I knew I was living in like the good old times when I was actually in those times. It's like you always like, I wish I had like treasured that moment or asked that question, sort of done those things.
Bought that Bitcoin,
Or not bought that Bitcoin.
Sold that Bitcoin,
That was the Bitcoin, yeah. I think for me, I think for me personally, my family, we weren't quite as centralized around like the dinner table or like around in like the kitchen as much as like a Scrabble game or like some other area where we weren't exactly cooking. So I think for me, I would probably go the celebrity route. And there are, so a little bad of the hay. Specifically, there are three. There's Lizzo, Janelle Monáe, or Pedro Pascal, because I think they just like, they're such interesting artists, and I love like The Last of Us. I know Janelle Monáe just came up with a new album like literally today, and she's an artist that I just love so much. So just all three of them, I would just love to hear more about like their craft and their career. And then we're making cloud bread. It's a TikTok recipe. It's very yummy. Can attest.
So I just want to make sure that I understand this. Given the opportunity to spend an hour with anybody in history with like an intimate moment, you're gonna like spend some time with some celebrities and you're gonna do TikTok things. Just want to make sure I understand that 100%.
He didn't listen to our conversation at all.
I know. I'm trying to grok your... Yeah.
And he's gonna have a grand old time. You're gonna get real sentimental, real sad.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna be rocking.
Exactly.
I'm similarly going with the celebrity. I'm going with Ina Garten in the Hamptons. We're making like shrimp linguine, and maybe some kind of, I don't know what would pair with that. Like a white wine spritzer, I guess.
Yeah, I might go with like obviously Prosecco, but maybe like a cold ice wine. It's a little sweet, but that might go well. I'm with you. As much as I just slagged all the celebrities, Ina Garten, that would be pretty good.
Oh my gosh. I would just follow her lead. Absolutely. I mean, I just want to see her process too, but she's just such a joyous presence to watch on my TV. Like to get to actually be in that presence would be so exciting. I'm getting really excited at something that will unfortunately never happen.
Don't say that.
That's
Yes.
true. You're right. Fingers crossed. I know if you're out there.
Ina Garten, if you're watching, we would like to shake up some martinis and like have a little snack with you. Just,
Invite us to your Hamptons house.
Yes, we'll be there. Well, fans, you have 6 days left to submit your own answers for your chance to appear on our Thursday Big Show. That's a super fun finale. It's hosted by Keith, JJ, Reed, and I, where we go over the best of the best videos of the entire week. It's every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and right here at beyondtheair.com.
Yes, to record your answer for that big show, you can go to beontheair.com and you can click the orange record button under the 24-hour live game stream. You can still answer today's question or any of this week's other questions to tell us who you would invite to your dream kitchen, what you're going to make, and for your chance to join us on the air.
While you're over there on beontheair.com, you can also play the Guess and Bid game, and that's where you send stars to your favorite videos. When they climb the leaderboard, so do you. And it's another way of showing up on the air in the Daily Recap Show, because if you're on the leaderboard, you can show up right here, like Mary and Zach and all the little buddies. And that's our Guess and Bid leaderboard. Congratulations, guys.
Yes. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this morning, and a special thank you to everybody who's already watched, voted, and recorded their answers. We are QOTD and Be on the Air signing off, and we'll see you on TV on the Food Network.
Manja.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Bon appetit.
Ciao.